house holds a dark secret. It's the kind of house that no one can sleep in. In the 1990s, a couple named Tony and Debra Pickman moved into the house. Excited, newly married, full of hope. They were ready for their new life, but they had no idea what awaited them. Within days, things began to go wrong. At first, it was subtle. Their dog wouldn't go near the nursery. It barked at the door every time they tried to open it, and after a while, it refused to go inside. Then the toys began to move by themselves, and the lights, they flickered constantly. On a warm summer day, the temperature inside the house suddenly plummeted, and they could see their breath in the air. But it didn't stop there. Tony began waking up with deep scratches on his chest and back. They weren't from any animal. They were from something else, something unseen. At night, strange whispers filled the air. They came from nowhere, and they came for him. The whispers grew louder and louder. Tony would wake up in a cold sweat, hearing voices when no one was there. And then, one night, Tony woke up to something even worse. He saw her, a little girl standing at the foot of his bed. Her skin was pale and her eyes were empty. She didn't say anything. She just stood there, staring. Tony blinked and she was gone. Terrified, they called in a psychic to help them understand what was happening. The psychic walked into the house, took one look at the nursery, and said, "Her name is Sallie." Sallie was a 6-year-old girl who had died in that house during a failed surgery many years before. But the psychic didn't stop there. She told them Sallie wasn't alone. There was something else in the house, something darker, something that was feeding off their fear. Paranormal investigators were brought in. Cameras were set up, but no one lasted a full night. The first sign came when a teddy bear lifted off the ground and threw itself across the room. It happened on camera. The second sign came when shadows began to move without any clear source. It was like the house itself was alive. But the worst part came when one of the investigators was scratched across his neck on live camera. The scratches were deep, like something invisible had torn at his skin. But when they checked, there was nothing. No one could explain what was happening in the house. People tried, paranormal experts, psychics, even scientists, but the house refused to give up its secrets. Tony and Debra tried to live there. They tried to make it work. But the house had other plans. It was as if it wanted them to leave. Eventually, they had no choice. They fled the house, never to return. But even after they left, the house remained. The darkness remained. The whispers never stopped. And the legend of the Sallie House grew. People still visit the house. Some try to spend the night. Some make it through. Some don't. But there's something else. The house may still be waiting for its next victim. The question is, would you stay? Would you risk the whispers? Would you risk the darkness that might never let you leave?